Okay, y'all. It is Betty Boo BBW back here on Spreaker. Yes, yes. Okay, I've been away a while because when I first started on Spreaker, everything wasn't too kosher with me because it was really quiet for me on here. It was not, I didn't know too many people on here, and just started doing this just to kind of get a feel for the website and get a feel for being on a radio show just for my practice. um I pretty much kind of migrated over to Google Plus and Facebook and YouTube, because I was like, I want to get some, some feedback from people. And Spreaker, being it was new at the time, I didn't see the value in it. But now I really do, because in the time that I've been gone, I went from two, like when I left, it was like two followers. I had two followers. And since I've been gone, I've gone up to like 69 or 60, somewhere in that range. And I'm like, wow, so there are people that at least want to listen to what I have to say on here. So, and a lot of people probably saying 60, that ain't nothing, but every person that I'm the kind that values people. So if 60 people think I am someone that they want to follow and listen to, damn right I'm going to be over here chopping my gums when I can. So, I'm kind of back. Yeah, I'm kind of back. I'm still trying to learn the interface and trying to do all this, adding music and sounds and all this other stuff. I'm not ready to upgrade to the higher level pro, but I'm good. I'm good on it. Y'all are gonna hear a clicking noise every once in a while, and that's me turning off my microphone because, as usual, I always have my bronchitis going on where I have to cough, and I think it's one of the nastiest things ever. And I don't want to feel like I'm on here sounding like I got tuberculosis, so it sounds like you need a shot after you listen to my show. So, if you hear that little click, that's what I'm doing. I'm all right. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to kind of complete and just let you know what's going on, but I was going to cover the issue of mental health, but I need to flesh that out a little bit more because, in the community, you have a lot of people that are just losing their minds, and they're doing a lot of things that really need psychiatric help, counseling, medication, incarceration. It's a lot of things that are getting, people are getting away with in society that's just really just out of hand. But before I deal with that, I think I need to do a little more research because, unlike some people, I don't like to flap my gums about shit I don't know. And then just repost some shit from someone else who actually did a little research and then reword it and then spit it back out to you. I don't like doing that. I like having a more informed approach to things, and I think I'm gonna wait before I do that. But what I do know is music. Ever since a little girl, I've been listening to music. I mean, as long as I can remember. And in going to some of these other websites, like getting away from MySpace, because MySpace, it went from being fun where you can chat with your friends to turning around. It turned into this sort of like, it was just one big, please listen to my demo, every day, all day. You had people sending you, please listen to my CD, please listen, watch my video, please, 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 please. And it wasn't like it was decent. It just turned into a store. And so you couldn't speak to one person without a guy talking about, hey, what your name is? Listen to my CD. And all they talking about is bitches ass and this, that, and the other. So after a while, I kind of migrated from MySpace and ended up on Facebook. And then ending up on Facebook, pretty much the same thing, but it was a little bit more user friendly. But then that turned into one big fucking commercial because even though you can't try to make friends on that bitch, they make sure that they can sell all of your information and your friends' information, the few that you do have. They make sure they sell that shit so they can make some money off your ass, but you can't make a dime or even make a friend. Because when you turn around and you try to post something and promote something of your own, and then they turn around and say, pay us to promote your shit. But then they can take all. Anyway, I'm not going to get upset about Facebook. I've deleted all my Facebook pages, so I'm not on there no more at all. I see no point in it. So I ended up on Google Plus. Google Plus is amazing because you can tailor it to what you want to see that day. tailored to who you want to interact with that day. You could delete motherfuckers and they stay gone, and they can't make another page and they show up on your page again. It's a lot of things. It's a whole lot more accommodating. But in posting music, I like to post music when I'm on the internet, and most of the time, like 99.9% of the time, I'm posting something from like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, a ways back when music, consisted of good lyrics, a good singer, a good performer. You have things that were they were longevity type artists, and when you are in dim comparison to what was out back then that you have now. For example, if you're bored one day, go look for an artist from the 90s on back. And at the top or at the beginning of most of the comments, all you see is, man, that used to be the music. Or yeah, that was when music was good. Yeah, that was when an artist could sing. Yeah, that was when an artist sold the music and not their bodies. And you see all these people complaining. I'm talking about millions of people saying the same exact thing in different ways. All of them are saying about how valueless music has become nowadays because it's a prepackaged item rather than the soul-filled bits of information that we used to take in, consume, and then we also used it as the soundtrack of our lives or how we handled ourselves, So now it's almost like music is an empty shell of itself. So if you ever decide to go on there and look up 90s R&B hits or rock songs of the 80s, those were some of the most heartfelt songs. If you listen to the lyrics almost pull you in like you're back at that time when, this is for the people that's that age, because not everybody is old as I am, but that was back during a time where you can, for example, I was listening to Terrence Trent D'Arby's Sign My Name Across Your... I ain't finna sing. Whatever. He was singing Sign My Name. And, oh my goodness, I had to keep rewinding it and rewinding and rewinding it because it was certain lyrics in that song that at the time I was young and I really didn't understand the power of them. But now when I listen to them, I'm like, oh my goodness, those are some true lyrics. PM Dawn, I was listening to them the other day, and whereas I like their harmonies and I like the minor key the songs were in, and I like the videos and how colorful and meaningful they were, that was some confusing shit. But the song itself will pull you in so that you ain't care that you didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about. Go ahead and sing, big boy. And now you listen to that now and you're like, wow. Eclectic, individual, different, not over the top, So, because now you have this whole generation now that they feel like they are so superior that when they listen to a song of someone from during a time that they don't know or they don't understand, they try to diminish how relevant that song is, when a lot of the people that they are emulating now and idolizing now are actually taking notes from those very people. They're saying, well, I don't know who the fuck that is. They're not they must not be too relevant if such and such. Mind you, the artist that you're liking right now is actually sampling them and is actually getting royalties from the new artist you're idolizing. So it's like there's no value system in how they respect what music is, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And when you have this many people, and I can understand if it's a pack of us, it's like 12 of us, it's 12 fat ladies and one man with one eye and one leg complaining about music ain't no good, and you're not paying attention to that. I understand that. But when you have millions of people starving for good music, and the best thing you could do is to put out another artist that looks like the other one, that's an insult. And that's why your money ain't right. That's why a lot of these record labels and artists are starving, are going, and don't just complain it on the fact that because you can get shit free on the internet is the reason why record labels don't make money no more. Don't nobody want to spend no money on no bullshit. Back in the day, a record used to be an event. When a record came out, you used to go buy the record because you wanted the sleeve alone. You wanted to crack that sumbitch open. Even before you put the CD in, you cracked that sumbitch open. They used to take their time, record labels used to take their time and put on the album the lyrics so you know what the fuck they were saying on the damn CD. And then you also would get pictures of the artists. You would get contact information. And this was when artists were untouchable. You couldn't go on Twitter and tweet them and then say, "Hey, what's up? You know, how you doing? Such and such, such and such," or go on there and say, "You suck. You a slut." You didn't have these access. The only way you would get in touch with that artist is if you went to see them at their concert, or you came to their album signing at the record store. And if you wanted to know any other information, you better pick up Right On, Black Beat, Tiger Beat, whatever they was. You had to pick up those magazines, Jet, Ebony. You had to pick up all those magazines to see them interviewed by someone. You didn't get to show up at at a party and as an average person and just talk to them. You had to spend money and go to a concert to see them. So now is that they're so touchable, and you can sit on there and you can have a full-fledged argument with a celebrity whose song is not selling that well and call them, "Bitch, you can't sing." It kind of devalues that celebrity, or that it's just too accessible right now. And that's what takes away another thing that takes away from the shine of the music, because you had that level of, what you call it? I go blank sometimes. That star quality. And it made you want more from them. It made you, and when you had to wait for music to come out, that made it more valuable. But because, you can get online and hack your way into their studio's computer and steal their shit before it even get mixed down, people don't care nothing about no music no more. They like, what I need to buy your CD for, I already got it. And they're like, I just put it down. I just laid the track yesterday, and it's just sad. But when you go to great lengths to have a release party for a single, that lets you know how valueless, music is nowadays. I don't see no reason why someone should have a party because they're releasing a single. That is just idiotic to me. And I think it also makes us look at you as like, it's nothing wrong with celebrating your music and your hard work, but let it be a finished act. Let it be a finished deal. Let it be, something of value that we can consume in a larger portion rather than singling us today. Single. Because you passing out all these singles, you never get your self-worth of what an album would have done. And I know people are probably saying, she don't sell no records, so how does she know? Because back in the day, albums used to be about 17 songs. Now albums are about 9 or 10 songs. And only 3 of them are even worth being on an album. The rest of them, you can tell, it's like they threw them bitches on like an afterthought and hope for the fucking best. And you're like, ugh, I had to skip over all them songs and get to the one song I like. So then again, you might have to kind of go back to selling just singles because your whole album ain't going to be shit. But I remember back in the day when you would have an album, and I'm going to say back in the day a lot, you would put out an album and you would listen to that motherfucker from the rooter to the tutor, front to back. And that one song was not something you just fell in love with. And even songs that you didn't quite like at first, they grew on you because you listened to that CD so much. You listened to it when you was cleaning up the house. You listened to it while you was cooking dinner. You listened to it while, company was over. But now, the only time you listen to music is when you go to the club. I don't even turn on the radio no more. I turned on the radio and I said, before I turn around, I said, ain't nothing on there but rap. Turn on the radio, it was a rap. Turn on the radio 4 hours later, rap. Turned it on 20 minutes later, rap. Turn it on at midnight, rap. What the fuck happened to Midnight Storm or the Quiet Storm? When that DJ would come in there with that, hello and good evening. I'm here tonight to bring you back some. You know, they used to put you in the mood to unwind you, and you listen to all that beautiful R&B, all that good soul, all that good passion. You even had rockers was sing. I'm talking about rock singers were singing slow jams. What happened to that? And when you take away something that drastically, and you assume that everybody wants to just hear rap. Now, don't get me wrong. I love rap. Some rap. Because it's a part of it. It came from hip-hop. Love hip-hop. But when you get to the point where you feel like that is all there is to play, that lets you know you're not listening to the people. You're listening to what you think is popular. But if you started integrating back into the rotation good music, you will notice that more people will start coming back listening to the radio. So you don't have to sit up there and tap dance trying to grab as many people as you can with playing rap all the fucking time, which the age group that listens to rap, they are some of the most fickle, most unfocused people ever. One day they love you, next day they don't fuck with you at all. But when you have music that touches your heart, mind, and soul, those are people that don't go nowhere. They stick with you because that music has left an imprint on them as human beings. They can't see nothing but that music because it helps us breathe. It's like a breathing apparatus. But this, you can abandon this new music like it ain't nobody's business. Because for one thing, as a woman, I don't want to come on there and the first thing I hear is some man singing about my genitalia. If I want to talk about genitalia, I know how to go over there to the gynecologist and say, hey, doc, what's up? You know, what's going on down there? And then he'll give me everything I want to hear. You know, I could turn on a little soft music. I could turn on my MP3 player while he's telling me what's going on down there. I don't need to hear that in a song. I'm tired of the few R&B artists that are out now that's just talking about sex, fuck, sex, fuck. At some point, I want to hear about the human condition, about us, about relationships, about friendships, about you doing good, you doing bad. I want to know about all these different aspects of life that we go through that you don't hear in songs anymore. I want to hear songs about you done triumphed over something, or you done got over on something where you've learned that life lesson and you're a better person now. I want to hear those kind of songs. I miss Luther. I miss Levert. I miss hearing Patti LaBelle on regular rotation on the radio. I miss Gladys Knight. I miss artists like Maxwell. I don't like not hearing Jill Scott as much as I can on the radio. And what about Janae? Janae, she's amazing. I like the eclectic sounds. I like people that don't fit into a box. I like listening to music that after a while it grows on me so strong that I have no choice but to go out there and find that new CD. I love album or record labels or record labels, not record stores where there are not only brand new artists, but you can go in there and dig in the same crates for the old stuff. Music is just a mess. And they don't care. They don't care that we're saying we want some real shit. We want what's real. And they don't listen. But because they think they know what's right. But keep thinking you know what's right by giving us all this rap. Talking about shit we don't relate to. And see what happened. What you need to do is you need to start looking at how much a lot of these artists that you think are gone are making overseas. A lot of these artists are performing overseas and they are making a killing because overseas they pay more attention to our music than we do, pay attention to our own music here in the States. When you got artists that are out now selling less records than a group from the 80s because they said, well, fuck the United States. We're going over here to Sweden. We're going to go over here to Czechoslovakia. We're going to go over here to Germany and perform since y'all don't want to see us in the United States. Your own people don't care nothing about you. And when you got all those artists performing over there and making a killing, you missing out. Because personally, I get tired of looking at these award shows with the same people performing. It make no sense that they go from one show to the next, performing the same songs, wearing the same clothes, walking the same red carpet. And by the end of the show, people are like, oh my God, what was that? It used to be a time when Lionel Richie used to MC the American Music Awards. And when I tell you by the end of that night, you were tired because it was a show. You talked about the American Music Awards or the whatever, whatever award show was coming on. You talked about that show all day. I wonder who's going to wear what. I wonder I can't wait to see such and such perform. And when Michael Jackson hit the stage, the world stopped moving just to watch him. Don't nobody do that shit no more. We be like, oh, hurry up and put Adele on. Oh, good Lord. Get to Adele. At least we know with her she's going to sing and give us something to feel. And then be like, oh, please rush past them. Please. Oh, God. Here comes Taylor Swift. At least she sings. It's sad that you got to sit up there and wait on a certain artist to come on there because all the rest of them are horrible. And when you sit up there and you'll get mad because you don't want to put a female artist up there that is a little bit of size, but you'll let Rick Ross get on up there with his damn four stomachs and 12 sets of titties. You'll let him get up there and rap. It's just something wrong. It's just something wrong. And at some point, the music industry, hopefully before it's too late, will listen and will understand that we're here. We're ready to spend our money. We don't need to have them put a studio album out. We just need them to at least release some digital music and let us know when they're going to perform because we still want to hear them. We still want to see them. We're not the generation that loves music and really will pay for music. Don't give a damn what you look like. Just as long as when you open your mouth, the voice that comes out is just as prepared as it was when you were performing back when you was young. I'd rather listen to Gladys Knight all night than listen to Nicki Minaj for 5 minutes. And that's not because I hate Nicki Minaj. Because personally, if Nicki Minaj really came out with music that is indicative of who she was preparing herself to be before this, I could watch Nicki Minaj all damn night. And what I mean by that is the Nicki Minaj that you see is prepackaged, prefabricated. It's just to attract attention or to catch your attention. But the talent that she truly is the type of talent that could keep your attention. But the audience that they keep pushing her towards is the ones that wants her to stay as that bright light bulb artist that she is. Because her lyrics, she's not saying much of nothing. Nothing you can really feel. I mean, it's club music. You can dance to it. But I hope before she's, all said and done, I hope she comes out with one song that really digs into who she is. Because I've listened to some of that stuff, and it's about as deep as spitting on the ground. Just being honest. But not to be dogging on her because she's doing her thing, and I'm not mad at her at all for doing her thing. But I don't expect me to spend no money on it. But another thing we also need to focus on too is stop paying for that shit that we already complaining that ain't what we want. It's like, just because it's almost like, um even though I won't go, if I go to a restaurant and I order a plate of shrimp fettuccine and they bring me some shrimp and a little, ball of rice when I order shrimp fettuccine, but you're like, well, at least they put shrimp on the plate, I guess I'll go ahead. No, you're gonna say, excuse me, I didn't order this. I ordered shrimp fettuccine. This is shrimp and some rice. If you get to the point where, you saying you want good music, but then when they bring you garbage, you just take it because that's what they brought you. You're going to always have, musicians that are like, oh, I hate this person is out. Why are they even, making music? Why are they? Because, you've heard this all the time. How did they even get signed? We hear that all the time. How in the hell did they get signed to a contract? Your ass. You keep buying garbage, they gonna mass produce you. They gonna mass produce it. They tried to Rihanna. They said Rihanna was on the outs. They bought you a couple of other artists that look like her, like Rita Ora and some of them other ones, look just alike, doing the same old. But y'all keep following them around like they're gods. You keep buying their music. You keep going to their concerts because you're trying to emulate something that isn't even real. But then those same people that be talking about, artists are doing this, that, and the other, be the same ones that be on these people's Twitter talking about when you putting out more music, but then turn around and claim ain't no good music out there. You need to make up your fucking mind. Soon as you make up your mind, they will give you what you ask for. So if you want to keep asking for the same garbage, keep on. That's what you're gonna get. Don't complain. But my complaint is when am I gonna get my music back? When can I get those artists that make me just almost just like, how did I live without this music for so long? I can't go into a record store nowadays and actually buy a song from somebody nowadays because I can't relate to it. I don't even know what they're talking about. And then the ones that call themselves sticking with R&B, they still popping and dropping and dumping around the stage like they teenagers, when I don't need no grown-ass man wearing no tight-ass leather pants talking about, trying to do young folk shit. I can't stand a grown person trying to do young folk shit. You're supposed to be an example. I want your music to mature along with you. It don't make no sense for you to have gray hair in your beard and you up there singing about, I'm gonna turn up when I turn up. Or talking about, same thing that these little 20-year-olds is talking about. That shit looks funny to me. It's comical. And then when y'all look at some of these rappers, y'all be like, that nigga 35? I didn't know he was 35. Yeah. They old. It's time to grow up. It's time to mature music. It's time to give a wide spectrum from young folks to old folks and push all of that music so that everybody can get something. It makes no sense to have a music show where there's no jazz on it, no reggae, no world music, no Latin music. Why? Why is that done during why is the good stuff done during the commercial or when it's sent to commercial? They need to stop doing that. But I'm just going to wrap this up. I do have my complaints about music, and I do think there's a lot of artists out there that aren't getting a fair chance to get into the game, into the music game. So I just really do think that they need to start taking that into account and start accommodating some of us that are out here with our money, like with our hands out with our money in it, like, here, please take my money. So my big request is they need to do a 80s, 90s rap concert, R&B concert, and they need to travel with those artists. They really do. They would make a killing because people are still following those people, and we need it. Thank you for listening to me. Betty Boop BBW signing off. See you next time.